everyone. So, we're back. And, by the way, we got a cat recently, so if you hear a squeaky boy in the background, that would be one.
Downstairs, so, I mean, he shouldn't...
I mean, he sometimes, he'll, meow at the door. I mean, I don't know if, you guys would be able to hear that, but, he does do that sometimes, because he doesn't like being left alone. But anyways, yeah, so we're here to review the new, Pixar movie, Luca.
Which also has a cat in it.
Yes. Hopefully this will be the last time that they have to do this, premiering on Disney Plus thing instead of just going to theaters.
Yeah, I was upset that they didn't have the option to see it in theaters also, because I would have liked to, I mean, we're vaccinated now, so I would have liked to be able to see it.
Yeah, and our theater is, I don't know what it looks like for, the rest of the country, but, where we are, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask in the theater, so, you get popcorn and stuff and all of that. So, I mean, hopefully, if more people actually get their freaking vaccines, then, theaters will start to open up again. And hopefully this will be the last time that they have to put this on Disney Plus instead of just putting it in theaters. And it's kind of interesting because, I think it was the same deal with Soul, if I remember correctly, where, you didn't, because, they've been doing this, Premier Access thing where you have to, in addition to, your Disney Plus subscription, you also have to pay $30 to see these, movies that are premiering on Disney Plus, but you didn't have to do that with this one. You can just watch it if you have a Disney Plus subscription.
They made it, a Disney Plus original, I guess, even though I think it was originally supposed to be,
that wasn't originally what it was supposed to be, but... Yeah, so basically, I guess, just to go over, the general plot, it's got a lot of, Little Mermaid vibes.
Under the sea.
Or there's this, little boy who's a sea monster named Luca, and he's
I wanna be where the people are.
And he wants to go up to the surface, but his parents are like, no, that's dangerous, can't do that. And he, finds all these, human objects, again, very reminiscent of Little Mermaid, and he's, really fascinated by human objects, and then one day he meets another sea monster who does go up to the surface, named Alberto, I think his name was, and Alberto's voice sounded really familiar, and then I realized it was, Jack Dylan Grazer, who was in, Shazam, so that's why I realized, where I recognize his voice from. He's a really good actor, and he basically, takes him up to the surface, and they, shapeshift when they're out of the water, so they'll appear human, but when they go back into the water, they'll be, they'll have, scales and, fins and all of that.
It's a lot easier than having to give up your voice to a sea wizard lady.
Sea witch, Eileen.
Sea witch.
Use the correct term, please. And so, yeah, so then, Luca's parents find out that he's going to surface, and they're not happy about that, so then they, threaten to send him to the bottom of the ocean where his uncle, who was very creepy, his uncle looks like one of those, deep sea fish, and
he is a deep sea fish.
Yeah, and he's, I love his design. He's, see-through, so you can see, all of his organs. It's, so creepy. But obviously Luca doesn't want to do that, so he runs away to go live on the surface with, Alberto, and they meet a little girl named Julia, and they have a friendship, and they want to join in a race so they can get money for, Vespa, which is, a little motorcycle thingy, so they can go explore the world and all that, and, yeah. So that's basically, the plot of the movie. Yeah, it's really good. I liked it. It's another, Pixar's just really, really good at taking these, kind of, odd-sounding concepts and, just turning into something really, really good and really heartfelt. Probably my favorite part of the movie was just, the friendship between, the three kids. They have, really great chemistry together, and, the actors are all great. Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name. Jacob Tremblay, who does the voice of Luca, is also very good. And then Emma Berman, who's Julia. They're all really, really great. And something I wasn't too sure about watching the trailers and stuff was the design of the characters. It was kind of I was worried about I was gonna have the same issue that I did with The Good Dinosaur, where the design of the characters looked very, cartoonish, but the backgrounds looked almost like photorealistic, so I felt like that didn't really like match and that didn't really work well. But here I think it worked pretty okay.
Some of the backgrounds are also kind of cartoony, like they also
Yeah.
have like a cartoony vibe. So there's like a consistent theme. It wasn't like in The Good Dinosaur where it was like these like beautiful looking hyper-realistic backgrounds, but then the dinosaurs look really like goofy, almost cartoony. It's like, what theme exactly are you guys trying to go with?
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, like the design of the characters, like it is a bit more cartoony than I think some people might be used to from Pixar movies, but they still look, I mean, the animation is still spectacular, like the texture and the colors are all really great.
I like that they kind of changed up the design of the humans a little bit, because a lot of the humans in Pixar movies all kind of look the same. They have, like, there's, like, that well-known, like, and then, of course, Disney started copying it, too, that, like, Disney Pixar design that, like, every one of their human characters have, and they all kind of look similar, so I was actually kind of happy that they were kind of, like, experimenting a little bit and trying different designs rather than just making them all, like, look the same.
Yeah, and, the animation, like, both, like, underwater as well as, like, on land is really great. I think that this might be, aside from, like, obviously the Finding Nemo movies, this might be, like, the only other Pixar movie that, like, takes place, not primarily, but, like, a good amount of it is underwater. And, I mean, obviously, like, the animation from Finding Nemo way back in 2003 was great, and obviously since then they've only improved on it. Even if, obviously, like I said before, like, the designs of the character is a little more, like, cartoony, but, I mean, like, it's, like, the motion, like, the motion movement, I can't talk, animation of the movement still looks very realistic, flows very well.
Honestly, Finding Nemo even to this day, like, still looks great. Like,
yeah,
it's
definitely
aged really well. Like,
yeah.
I'm shocked that movie came out in, like, 2003, because, like, some of the design of the humans and some of the parts on land kind of look dated, but a lot of the underwater animations, like, it looks like it could have been made today.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely holds up, so they definitely, Pixar has definitely kind of mastered, like, underwater animation.
Yeah, I guess, story-wise, like, I guess, like, most people are used to, from Pixar movies, like, very, like, deep, like, emotional stories that will, like, tug on your heartstrings and make you cry, like, you know, Coco and Soul and Finding Nemo and all those. I didn't quite get that out of this. I mean, obviously, like, there are some very, like, heartfelt scenes, especially between the two boys, but I didn't quite get that, like, very, like, deep, very emotional, like, gut punch moment that you sometimes get out of these other Pixar movies, which is, I honestly think is okay. I mean, I don't need every single Pixar movie to be a tearjerker. I mean,
if I'm not in tears at the end of a Pixar movie, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I know, I mean, like, if you're looking for that, you might not get that out of this, but, I mean, I still would absolutely recommend it. I still think it's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, every time a Pixar movie doesn't, like, absolutely traumatize you and make you cry, like, you always get, like, there were, of course, these people who are writing about, like, you know, is Pixar losing their touch? And I'm like, we've been having this, like, is Pixar losing their touch debate for, like, 10 years now, ever since Cars 2 came out. Speaking of Cars 2, you know, this movie takes place in Italy. It's kind of funny because the villain reminded me a lot of Francesco Bernoulli, like, the smug Italian dude. Honestly, like, even, like, Francesco Bernoulli was more likable than, like, he was a villain, but he still was, like, kind of funny, whereas this villain is just, like,
a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, the villain is, like, this, like, I guess it's supposed to be a teenager / young adult person who always wins every single race, because, yeah, there's racing in this, too, so, again, callbacks to the Cars movies.
But they're racing on bicycles,
yeah,
not
cars. Alive cars that talk. Yeah, and he's not a, I mean, he's okay, but he's not, like, he's definitely not, like, one of my favorite Pixar films. He's basically, like, his personality is actually just, like, a dick, basically.
I guess Pixar was trying to step away from the whole, like, you know, trustworthy person who turns out to be a villain, because they've been doing that for, like, almost every Disney and Pixar movie now. It's like, they always do this, like, trope where it's like, this person who you thought was trustworthy, turns out they're actually a villain, and it was kind of starting to get old, so I guess they were like, okay, let's just make this villain just like a dick from the start, and you never like him, and he's never like made to be like a trustworthy person. But
yeah, I mean, like they still could have like fleshed him out more, I guess.
yeah.
Cause like he's just not that interesting.
He's mean because he's mean, and that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess as far as like the twist villains, if I could just go off a tangent for a bit, like, I mean, I think that like it kind of, I mean, yeah, I was getting irritated that they were using that for like every single movie, but like I don't think it's automatically a bad trope. It just depends on like how you use it.
I think it was just getting like overplayed.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
They did it really well for the first couple of movies, and then it started getting really predictable. Like there would be like this one character who was nice. People were like, "Oh, gee, I wonder if that's gonna be," you know. So it just started getting kind of predictable, but at the same time, I don't know, like that trope can be done really well. Like, you know, movies like Up and Monsters Inc. I think did that really well. But at the same time, it can be great to have like just a straightforward villain also, but I think they kind of needed to flesh him out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And make him a bit more compelling beyond just, he's just a dick and that's just the end of it.
Yeah, so yeah, what else?
I guess I should also talk about, there have been some people comparing this movie to Call Me by Your Name because they're like, well, it's set in Italy, and it's, like, in the Italian countryside, and it's about, like, these two boys who have a close friendship, and a lot of people thought that, like, the two boys were gonna be, like, a couple or, like, in love or something, and then the director was like, no, it's just about friendship. But I guess people are saying that, like, the fact that they're like, oh, these two boys that have, like, this secret that they need to hide from this town, they're like, that could be seen, I guess, as, like, an allegory for being gay, but the movie never, like, explicitly says that they're supposed to be, like... I mean, they could have done that if they wanted to go in that direction, I guess, but, you know, a lot of these Disney movies, they don't have, like, explicitly gay characters for... Which bothers me because, like, you know, because this movie wasn't released in theaters, it was released... I mean, I don't think they knew that at the time that they were making this, obviously that this was gonna be, released only on Disney Plus and not in theaters, but, like, because of that, I guess they could have done that if they wanted to, but, it would have been interesting, but still some fans were kind of, like, disappointed when they found out, like, no, this isn't gonna be, like, the Pixar version of Call Me By Your Name just because they're both set in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just kind of, like, a dumb comparison, just like, oh, it's Italy, about two boys, must be Call Me By Your Name, that they're gay, like, what? That's, no. But
oh, I guess I also heard, I guess, the Call Me By Your Name sequel has been canceled because Armie Hammer is a creepy weirdo.
yeah,
so
I mean,
I guess
could just recast him if they wanted to.
maybe, but I guess he's not gonna be voicing Jackson Storm anymore. Cars franchise.
I don't even like that character very much. You could
Yeah.
just get rid of him,
I mean,
honestly.
he looked cool, but like beyond that, it's just like.
Yeah, so, God, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, pretty much covered a lot. I guess, like, I overall, like, I would definitely, like, recommend it. I guess for, like, an overall grade, I'd give it, like, an A-. I mean, it's still really, really good. I'd still, most of my problems with it are very, like, nitpicky stuff. Again, like, the villain could have been fleshed out more. And I feel, at times, I feel like the cartoonish design doesn't quite work with the background, although again it's nowhere near the same level as like bad as it was in like the Good Dinosaur. But yeah, I mean it's definitely like kids will definitely like it. I think, you know, kids really like you know, movies about like just like friendship and camaraderie between, you know, kids. I mean, I certainly did when I was a kid. And it's still got a lot of things that, like, adults will like. Again, like, that's really the beauty of Pixar movies, that they're both made for both, like, children and adults.
Pixar was like, what if Italians had feelings?
Yeah, the voice actors are all great. It's just, I mean, what can I say? It's just another great Pixar movie. And, yeah, do you have anything that you want to add?
I guess I'll say, in terms of going forward, I hope that the whole, like, Disney on Disney Plus thing, I have mixed feelings about, because on one hand, I think it's great that they're able to put a lot more, like, shorts out, and they're like doing a lot more kind of experimental stuff on Disney Plus, Pixar, which is great. But on the other hand, I'm kind of worried that this means that they're not gonna show the shorts in theaters anymore if they're just gonna release them on Disney Plus, which is like, you know, I always liked that in the beginning of Pixar movies you would always get like a short, and I think they kind of stopped doing that. So
yeah, so I guess that's kind of it, and see you guys next time. Bye.